Okay, so this is me on a Saturday afternoon starting to build some terrain. This is just going to be me recording while I build terrain. I'm going to have music on headphones so it doesn't get copyrighted or anything silly like that. I'm considering doing these live in future, but we'll see. Today I just figured I'll just record it as I put the first piece together, which was going to be this water tower and well. It's pretty much a straightforward build, nothing too complicated about it. So I'm going to start opening it up and we'll go from there. I just use a bit of cork on the bot below while I'm building stuff because it just gives a bit of protection to my tape desk, and this stuff I use for making rubble and such like on terrain, so if it gets cut and scratched into, a bit of PVA on, don't really matter. And it's cheaper than using my cutting mat when I'm using PVA glue and everything else. So let's have a look and see what we've got here. As I say, I've not put one of these together before, so this could be a bit of an experience. I have no idea if there's any instructions or anything to go with them. I'm guessing not. So, let's have a look. I'll take this off. As I expected, no instructions. So, what we got? Laser cut. All the extra pieces look like they dropped out. Holes cut, pre-cut. So it's just going to be a matter of looking at this and using that as a guide. So we'll start off with the water tower. No, we'll start off with the well just for size first. So let's have a look. What do we think the well? I'll say that's a bit of the well. That looks like the bottom. I'm saying those probably aren't. The well, I'm guessing, is this top stuff up this end. So let's have a look here. Basically brickwork. Quite a clever way of doing the brickwork, actually. There'll be a bit of tidying up and such like to do as we go along with this. It's a bit of a new craft blade always makes this life a little bit easier. So I'm assuming that's going to be the bottom piece, and then let's just build up from it. Those are obviously the roofs of it, and these are the stands for the roofs. Right, where are we attached on these? Just one there, so we can just probably spin that without too many problems. Okay, so get all these bits out and we go from there. Oh, that's got a piece left in it. Get rid of that. So we'll see how all these pieces go together and we'll go from there, and then we just need that wheel out of there. I think that's probably it. I think the rest of it's probably for the... Okay, so I managed to lose the audio on this video partway through. It comes back a bit later, but I'm going to add a bit on to cover the bit I've missed. So at this point we've got everything out for the well, and started working out how it all goes together. Overall, it was a reasonably simple build. A few issues with it, as you'll see as we go. It was a bit of a strange one. So I just used files just to clean up where the pieces were still attached to the wooden frame. Just make sure it lays flat up, and I'm not the tidiest builder ever, so I've got bits all over the place, as you'll see as we go, I'm sure. So I just clean everything up and then I start working out how it all goes together. Mostly it was a pretty straightforward build. As I say, this terrain's for Malifaux. It's going to be a Wild West scene board, which is going to be designed to be transportable. I design and create my own vinyl mat, so basically I'll do a 3x3 mat to go with it, which has all the deployment zones on and everything, but it will have some sort of deserty looking theme probably, just so it's dirt and earthen side, so just the terrain goes on top of it. All these pieces just clean it, so hopefully that should look good. It's going to be sort of a mining town looking board. Learning these videos are very much a learning experience for me and working out what works and what doesn't. Sometimes it will go well, other times maybe not. So like this one where I've lost the voice, which is good. I'm still playing around with the tools that I'm using to record stuff, so I must have knocked the mic or something partway through. So, which was normally either works and carries on working or stops, but on this occasion I lost it. Yeah, it happens. So clean up the roof parts of this well. Just make sure it's all nice and clean. And I should probably, I'm going to guess, start building shortly. We'll see how it goes. I do make a slight mistake early on, which I soon rectified, which was putting the brickwork not quite right together. As I say, I'd say later on, but I'll say here as well. I use a bit of cork just to keep everything together. I can cut into it, I can mess it, if it gets PVA over it, it doesn't matter. Cutting mat, I do have a cutting mat, and I do use a cutting mat. If I'm doing a lot of cutting, I'll get a cutting mat out, but this was very much going to be cut glue, and I don't like getting PVA on my cutting mat, so I just tend to use a bit of cork ball, which I always have floating, a few sheets floating around for making rocks for basing for my models or whatever else I'm doing at the time. So this is me just working out how all the parts go together, so they all slot in nicely, not a problem there. If you notice already, I've made a slight mistake that those two pieces go together flush, and the actual design, they're slightly orientated, so you get the layers of the bricks are more defined. I noticed that soon. I noticed that once I started gluing the first couple of pieces down and go, oops, that's wrong, and rework it. I use wood glue over just pure sort of cheap PVA, mainly for the fact the wood glue tends to be a bit thicker, so if I need to thin it down, I can just get a bit of water and thin it off. So it tends to dry quicker because it's not got as much of a water content on it. Personal decision. Cheap PVA will work almost as well, but I suggest you get the wood glue. It's just it's a bit stronger. So that was the first piece. I get the next piece again. Bit of PVA just to hold it, just to start. And again, just remove some of the excess and spread it around a bit better. There you go. Just showing the Wilco's, the fact that I just used bog standard Wilco's wood glue. Nothing particularly special, not expensive. Go and buy it by the litre from your local store. So put the next piece down, and this is where I go. Right, just take off a bit of the excess PVA that's swirling out. That always happens. It's easy enough to clean up the PVA. It's just a water. And there's me realising, oh, hang on, those pieces, I should have put those pieces in slightly different order. So that should have gone first, followed by one of those pieces I've already glued down. But I've already put there's already PVA on that, so that should just hold it. And then that one, again, use that one's got PVA on, so again should just hold nicely. So as you can see, I'm just sort of sewing the brickwork, just makes a better display of the woodwork. So we go from there. Just keep building it up. Overall, I'm reasonably happy with the way this comes together. It's a straightforward cut, build, simple design, very much designed for the average gamer. Anybody can put, if you can put models together, you can put this terrain together. Really, no problems at all. I'm very expressive with my hands, I notice. I have to remember that. So that was the basic brickwork all glued together. So I now start work on the next piece, and we'll see what happens. We'll hopefully get a bit of. Oops, I'm not quite lined all the bits up correctly, so the doesn't fit in quite right. Bit of PVA down there just to. And then a brush just to spread it and remove what I've put too much, if I put too much on there. And down the other side, so both sides can take it. And then one goes in. Oh, does it? Bit of a twist needed. This is why I try and get all this sort of stuff put together at the same time, because it means if there is any moving of pieces need to be done, then the glue hasn't dried yet, so it all goes together nice and easy. Oh, I almost lost a piece there. I did lose the bottom. Oh, and all the pieces come apart. Yay! As I say, cack-hanginess at its best. But it just proves that anybody can make these. I'm not exactly the most dexterous person ever. But I'm also... But yeah, no, overall it all comes together. It all fits it eventually. Bit of brush, again, just brush around, remove any excess and spread the PVA around so it all get a decent glue over the entire thing. So that's the entire thing back down. Let's try that again, shall we? Hopefully this time everything will go in properly. Hopefully. Not betting on it. So yeah, we've the two frames for taking the pulley and the roofs of that now in place. Level. I've sort of just put it against the floor to make sure everything levels up nicely. Make sure everything. Oh yeah, if there's something wasn't quite level there, so that just dropped out, but that should hold it all now. So just make sure that fits through all right. That's just, as I say, it's a square roll rather than a circular. But again, that's just cost saving from TTCombat, making their products somewhat cheaper than other options. Do I care? Not really. When at that size, you're not going to notice it on a table. I may just put a bit of wire rope around it just so to give it a bit of a extra look, but I'm not sure. I haven't decided yet. We'll see I'll see what I end up doing, because I haven't made my mind up yet. But that's just me gluing the pulley on, because I decided, well, I wouldn't glue that in, I'll glue that to that just to make it all and then I'll just store it all like that together, so it was all nice and make sure everything fitted all right, and we'll go from there. So that's the basic shape done on that. Only thing left to do now is add the roof, which I decided I wasn't going to glue it right at the moment because going to make it a pain getting near all the other stuff. This I've just shown size comparison with miniature. That's Tata from Guild Steamforge game, new model, limited edition. Haven't actually painted him yet, but that will happen soon enough, no doubt. Just put the roof on, just make sure it all fits properly. Nothing's twist. None of the parts are twisted. That looks all right. Oh, maybe not. There may be a little bit of a twist there, but I sorted that out. And the roof's now on, so it will now hold in place while everything else while it all dries. I'll put that over to one side. Then thought, oh wait a moment, maybe I could just put that on the bottom. Oh, I'll be back and realise, oh, maybe I should bring the camera down to its height. So I just use a webcam for recording. It's just on a tripod next to me. So I just took it off the tripod for a second and sort of showed you the finished product. It's not going to be exactly as it is when it's completed, because I'll probably fill in that crack on the roof with a bit of green stuff and bit of modelling, putting in there, a bit of green stuff just to square it all off. Just to make it look nicer. I'm one of those people who it looks all right, but I think I can make it a bit better yet. And there you go. I've put that model of Tata next to him, so you can sort of see the height wise. It's pretty comparable. You can probably hide a model behind that relatively easy, but probably only one model. Anybody else behind there probably is going to be noticeable. Yeah, you can see through it, but you're going to get cover from it, so it's a good thing. Right, the camera goes back up on the tripod, and we'll move here to the well out the way to start the water tower, which is a little bit more of a complicated build, but it's not terrible. So I decided I'll start on the actual water tub. So I take out all the the top and bottom of that, which are just those two pieces there, and then you've just got all the. Oh no, I decided to take out the platform piece first and the two tower, then start work on the tower. I say, oh, I'm trying to wiggle those out. Decided they're not going to come, so just take a knife to them just to cut through the bindings. Oh, there's a nice picture of my head. Gonna have to possibly move that tripod around a little bit in future, but that's all right. We'll deal. It's working out what works and what doesn't. So I'm just literally cutting through each of the joins in the wood at the moment. So that's that done, and then they should all just fall out. Oh, and about half of them stay in. And I go and I just move those out of the way and just take a knife to them again, because clearly I didn't quite cut through fully. And we neaten them, and then it will just be a matter of neatening them up to do the next bit. At some point about around now, I realised that there's no audio coming out, which was a bit of a daft on my part. So yeah, I'm just working out how they all go together. I'm going to neaten them all up again, bit of a filing and neaten up, and then I start working out how best way gluing them together is going to be, and I end up deciding that gluing both top and bottom is going to be the best plan, and work around it in a wheel. So just carry on neating them all up. Oh, I decided I missed a bit on that one, and decided I just want a bit more of a file on that one. And we keep going. It's just a matter of keeping at it. I'm a gamer first, so I want terrain to look good on the table, but also be usable on the table. So that's just a matter of balancing it between the two things. I think it was about a point where I started gluing these together that I realised the audio wasn't working. So I'm going to guess in the rather near future, notice there's no audio, and you'll start hearing me again because I'm going You'll hear me real time rather than, oh, there we go. Crap, I've got no audio. I will go and sort it all out, hopefully. Gotta love the fact that I've just noticed that for the first half of this film we've had no audio, so that's going to be fun. We'll find something to add. We'll put some words over it, but that'll be fun. So yeah, we'll see what I talk about and I repeat. But this stuff is, it's new to me at the moment. I'm still learning and mistakes still happen. We'll see how it goes. Right, so that's everything filed down, neatened up. This is what I quite like about TTCombat. One thing I do quite like is they just have one point where it catches on most pieces, which means cleaning up is quite quick. So, trying to work out how I'm going to do this. I think best way is going to be to do both top and bottom at the same time, and a bit of glue, and just roll it round, because do top and bottom to give it a bit of stability, and then sides. I may not be doing all these at one go, to be honest. We'll see. There we go. That just gives a bit of stability to it, and then I can just start working my way around basically. Oh, that's a little bit much, so we'll need to get a bit of a brush on that, because we don't need that much on there. We'll just brush that down onto some of the other pieces and onto the other side. Save me a bit of time putting some more on in a moment. So, next piece. Hey, he's trying to escape on me. This sort of thing, it's a bit of fun. We'll get there. Extra fat. Trying to work this out actually. I'm not sure. Trying to work out how this goes. This is always fun, because I'm looking at this design and that doesn't look like it uses. Oh no, it probably does, and then yeah, I see how it goes. That's all right. It's not as bad as I thought it was. As I say, part of the fun of these. That's more than enough for glue there for these. So as I say, we'll see how this goes and see what people think of it, and we'll go from there. The joys of overall, this stuff is going together really well. One thing I can say about TTCombat is they are good simple designs. They're designed for the gamers. You don't need to be a master terrain builder to build these, which is probably a good job, really. So that's the basic water tower complete. That's the basic water barrel completed. Yes, it's got gaps down the centre, but I may just do something to neaten those up. I may add a second layer of crates or something around, we'll see. So that goes like that. So then these must go into those gaps there. So let's cut these out. Now, are these going to come out easily? Yeah, they are. That's fine then. Problem with some of these smaller pieces, getting the craft knife into them to break them, which again is part of the reason why I like the slightly thicker MDF on some models. In some terrain manufacturers, if you use what I just did there, you'd find you'll lose some. The parts will start snapping, which is not good. I'd say just a bit. Damn, where did that go? We'll find it in a moment. Hopefully it won't have gone too far. Okay, the advantage of me recording stuff, I see where it goes flies to. So found the piece, so we'll go back to the cleaning all these little pieces up. So we'll see what happens. So, as I say, this channel is an experiment on my part. Originally, it was just going to be actual games, but I've decided I may as well put other content up as well. So, terrain building, etc. We'll see what actually ends up happening, because I don't know what's going to be popular, what isn't. So, we'll see what people like, and we'll do more of that. So I play the games I play Guild Ball, which is relatively new. Well, not so much now, I suppose. Now it's 2 years, but I play quite a bit of Guild Ball. Play War Machine, which obviously we've got a new edition just come out for, so everybody's learning the difference with that, and we've got some extra terrain stuff in that. So you may see me building some new terrain for War Machine, acid pits, maybe. We'll see. See what the local groups are wanting. Malifaux, I am going to get back into. We started off playing it about 2.5 years ago. My partner and myself. We never got into it majorly. Not even sure why. I enjoyed the game. It seemed to drop off a bit. So. But we've made the conscious decision that we're going to get back into it more now, and hopefully we'll see some games of that on here. Maybe not with the missus. She's not entirely sure she wants to be recorded, which is totally understandable and fair enough by her on hers. It's entirely up to her if she wants to be recorded or not. We'll see some Malifaux on here. SA Industries, which is on Kickstarter at the moment. I've been a big fan of the SA Industries RP since it originally was out in the 90s. That might date me a bit. But yeah, so we'll see what ends up on the channel, what gets used, what people like, what people don't like. And the stuff you like, you'll get more of. At the moment, it will be if I'm at my desk doing something which I feel might be interesting to record, I'll record it. Game wise, I have my gaming kit with me. I have my recording kit with me. Most places I go in game, I will record. We're doing a big Guild Ball Big League at the local club at the moment, so some of those games will go up on YouTube. Not all of them, because there are people involved in that who don't want to be videoed, either because they're relatively new to the game, or they don't like cameras and just generally, which is totally fine. I know my next match won't be videoed because my opponent is somebody who has a thing about cameras, so we won't be recording the game. But hopefully, I'll get somebody else's game recorded, so you can see some games. The local club's a good bunch of people in the main. Bath Gamers Society. I'll put a link into the link of this game. Wide range of gamers play all sorts of different games. 40k, most of the GW ones, Guild Ball, Bolt Action, Malifaux, card games like Magic and board games like Carcassonne, Settlers of Catan, and others. There's a lot of people down there who are happy to play anything people bring down. So if you're in the local area, it's worth coming down and visiting and seeing what we do. You might find a new group of people to play with. As I say, the next game I'm looking at is SLA Industries Cannibal Sector 1, which is basically a skirmish game based off the Slay Industries. Right, let's get that in and get it all fastened in place, because that's the reason I do this now. Basically, all these will hold it in place. I'm not going to glue the main base down yet because it's probably going to be easy to paint everything separately. But doing that now means it will, when I put it down, it will go in nicely. I'm just going to put that on there just to give it a bit of support underneath it for the second. Right, what's next? I suppose probably building the tower. So that's the base. I could have been a better position for that hold. Now, where are we on these? There. So yeah, the idea with these videos are very much, I'm trying to make sure I don't play to the camera. This is very much me building. This is very much me doing my hobby. Yeah, I'm talking more, but my missus will tell you I talk when I'm doing stuff, because it usually helps me concentrate on what I'm doing and work out what I'm doing next. Be that the next bit of terrain or what. So these should go in reasonably straightforwardly. Which way round do we think they go? Does it matter? Let's have a look. Right, so yeah, yes, it does matter. That's fine. So this is supposed to be test fitting, working out exactly which way around stuff goes. That wants to be the other way around. So that goes like that. That then goes on top. And then I've got the ladder parts just to clip over the edge. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll probably tidy these up, glue these 4 pieces. What I'm trying to make sure I do is get plenty of PVA where it needs to be, but not overdo it, because too much PVA can be almost as bad as not enough. And the reason I'm putting stuff on the one that I'm actually putting in is because it means when I do that, it's going to be easy. I don't having to fiddle around with this one. Well, that's a bit too much on those. So that should do. And then one side of this will get PVA on. And then that will slot in together. Right, I'm just trying to work out here what I'm going to do on the inside. I think what I'll probably do is I'm going to glue these 2 together like that, and then leave the 2 parts separate, just because it means it's going to be easier to paint. Or I could, maybe I'll do 2, I'm actually going to do, yeah. What I'm going to do is I'm going to glue that one on, like so, and then I'm going to leave the last one for a later date. Again, looking for ease of painting later. It's not always worth gluing everything together. Right decision? We'll find out. So like so. Again, just clean up the glue around it. And then the last piece that should just fit in like so. So like so. And then they go on like that. Obviously I'm not gluing it all together at the moment, and to be honest, those 2 pieces I'll probably leave separate for easy transport. I'll glue the top and the base together, but not them to each other. Right. So that glues like that. Again, just a bit of neatening up where the connections were to the rest of the wooden frame. I do have a Dremel to do a lot of the sanding, but for this sort of sanding I prefer not to use it because occasionally it goes overboard too easily, shall we say. So just glue these together for a second because and the other thing about having a bit of cork or something underneath, it means anything that needs to rest over model while you're drying can do. So like so, get that straight. And then that just attaches over there. So again, that's the basics of the wooden tower done. So I'll grab the camera down again. And there you go. One water tower. One water tower like so. Stairs aren't glued on, and they won't be. I'll glue them on when I may glue them on, but I may also just use a small magnet or something just to hold them in position. But that is basically the water tower. So that's the two pieces done. So the water tower and the well, both done really quickly, really simple, very easy designs. Really happy with how they've come out. I'll probably do a little bit of extra work on them to add a bit of extra detail to them that you don't have to do, but that's the core layout done. So hope you enjoyed that, and we'll see what you let me know what you think, and I will talk to people again on the next build. Bye.